Hi guys, happy Vlogmas day 6, I believe. Yeah, Vlogmas day 6. We're at the airport because we're going.
We're at the airport because we're going to New Hampshire
to see my family, and I successfully made it through security and didn't cry and didn't get screamed at, and everyone was really nice.
Yeah, everyone was really nice.
So that's good because that was like half the battle. So the hard part is over, and now let's just hope I brought everything that I need.
You did.
They had to. Our latest show obsession has been border security, and they had to like swab all my like I had to touch my Omnipod and my Dexcom, and they had to swab my hands, and they swabbed like all my medical supplies, and I felt like I was on border security. Border security. It was fun.
I did too.
Like low-key, it was fun.
I felt like I was watching an episode.
I know, me too. I was like in my head like narrating.
Did you feel so special?
Yeah, I was like, that's that. And I'm also highly offended because the only coffee place in this terminal is Harvesting Grounds. And if you've been to the Fort Lauderdale airport, you know that Harvesting Grounds is
horrible.
Not good.
And the people there are so mean.
Yeah, they are. Okay, bye. Hi guys. Okay, this is like the 10th time I've tried to record this because I cannot get a good angle in the car. But the last clip that you saw, also I'm not looking at my phone. It's the GPS. Last clip you saw was us at the airport, and then clearly there was no vlog yesterday. So allow me to explain. If you saw my story, oh, I'm in the wrong lane. If you saw my Instagram story, you would know that there was an issue at TSA. So let me just take you through our travel day. So everything was going great. So we had a flight from Florida to JFK airport in New York, and then we had a 1 hour layover, and then we had a flight from JFK to Boston. So we get to Fort Lauderdale airport, everything goes great in the TSA line. They hand check everything I asked them to hand check. They give me like a full body pat down as I requested. Super nice, kept all my stuff like organized together. We're just like very respectful of me and my requests and my medicine and everything.
I didn't ask a crap ton of questions.
Okay, this car is just not gonna let me over even though it's literally no choice. Okay, word. Yeah, I didn't ask any questions really at all. Just
was so nice.
Sorry, this is gonna be like the most annoying clip ever. But yeah, just were really nice and respectful, no questions asked. Or if they were very much justified, like what's this or something like that. The guy even like very carefully put everything back in my bag, which I didn't expect him to do or anything. Like he was super nice. We get on our flight, everything's going great. And then we land at JFK airport. And like I said, we had a 1 hour layover, and our flight was like slightly delayed, but not that it would make a big difference. But it was delayed, like landing, we landed late. So we were at a different terminal than our new flight because we were flying a different airline because they were like separate tickets because we bought them at different times. It's like a long story. But we had to change terminals. So Avery looked online, and all it said was that there was a air train that you can take that would take you to the different terminals, but you have to leave security and then go back in.
There were all these reviews of people like, oh my god, like transferring terminals here is such a pain in the butt, and you have to go through security. So I mean, that's all I saw.
Yeah.
Like you have to go back through security and take the air train.
Yeah, so, and I didn't look myself, but also when we got off, like all we saw were signs for the air train to go to the other terminals, whatever. And so getting to the air train probably took like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know, a long time. Like it was never ending. And then of course you have to sit on the train for a couple minutes, and then you finally get there to the new terminal, and you had to go all the way back through security. And so the issue here was when we got to the Fort Lauderdale airport, Avery realized that she forgot her ID, like her whole wallet, but we have Clear. Clear has saved her butt so many times. So we have Clear, and with Clear, you don't need your ID or anything because it already has that all saved. It's kind of like, well, actually, I don't know how pre-check works, but with Clear, you don't actually need an ID. So we got through at Fort Lauderdale just fine because we have Clear. Well, now we're at JFK and we asked where the Clear entry is, and they're like, oh, we don't have it. And like JFK is a big airport. You would think they would have it because most major airports have it. It's like the random small ones that don't have it, but like most of the major ones do. So they're like, okay, we don't have it. And we're like, okay, well, that's an issue because one, that's how you cut down on time, big time, because you never have to wait in the lines with Clear. And two, Avery doesn't have an ID. So we have to wait in the line. At this point, our flight's already boarding. And the line for TSA is not the longest I've ever seen, but it was long. Like, a while.
So we were waiting in line for security, in the security line. And this family is like in front of us. And I'm like, well, like, would it be okay if we cut in front of you? And they're all like, and I'm like, it's not our fault. No, she's like, it's not our fault. It was a layover. It was a layover. And they're like, okay, good luck. And I'm like
which I kind of get because like normally when people do that, I'm like, okay, we're all trying to get on a flight, but
I don't understand that because I've never been like, no. I'm like, you need it more than I do. Go.
Yeah.
Unless
normally I wouldn't even request that, but just because like literally we had no control over when our other flight landed and all that, like what? And so that's why we were asking people. So we ended up being able to cut like a bunch of people, and we get to the front, and the lady, like, obviously because Avery didn't have her ID, even though someone told us at the last airport that she'd be fine with a picture of her ID.
Yeah, but I went through, and even the guy was like, yeah, we can't take your bag without form of identification. I was like, I don't have anything, I'm sorry. And he's like, do you have a photo? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, that should get you through security. I'm like, we have Clear, so I don't think it will matter. I said, okay, well, I mean, it'll get you through anyways. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. So they wouldn't take her photo of her ID, and then she left her whole wallet, so she didn't have any cards with her name on it or anything, but she has like her Apple wallet with all of her cards, and then she has a picture of her ID and all that and whatever. So then she had to go to secondary like screening, so that she had to like fill out a form and whatever. And so she was doing that, and then they just kind of told me to like go through security. So I had to go through security because Avery, after she got done with that, was going to be like let in a different way. And so I waited in line, and I get up, and this is where all the horrible everything happened. So same thing. Well, this was a lot more stressful. One, because I'm on a time crunch. Two, they were way busier. Like at Fort Lauderdale, like pretty much there was no one there. Like it was pretty dead, and this time like it was pretty busy.
But like the thing is, they weren't that busy. I've seen the line, like it wasn't even really that much of a line. Like there were people there. It was fine. It's not anything like the line is all the way out of the thing. It was like not even halfway through.
Yeah.
And they're like, we're so busy.
Yeah, it was not that busy.
It really wasn't busy. Like we got through the line in like 3 to 5 minutes max.
Yeah, and so I had a bunch of, another thing is, at the first airport, you didn't have to take out any of your technology. At this one you did, and I had my camera, my laptop, all that, because that's like the normal stuff I pack. And so I had to take all that out, make sure I got all that, and then also worry about my medical supplies that can't go through the scanner. So I told the guy, I said, I have a medical bag, there's a lot of stuff that can't go through the scanner, and I also can't go through the scanner, I'll need a pat down. And they're like, okay. And I was like, okay, so I just start taking everything out. I put my shoes in the bin. They yell at me about the shoes in the bin, whatever, it doesn't matter. I love how every airport has different rules.
What did they say about the shoes in the bin? I put my shoes in the bin.
They didn't want the shoes in the bin.
I put my shoes in the freaking bin.
That's why I was like, okay, but whatever, that's just normal TSA stuff.
The guy told me, he was like, here, put your shoes in the bin. And I put everything in the freaking bin.
Yeah, that's like normal TSA stuff though, but so then, they were like, so they weren't telling me like where to put my medical supplies that can't go through. So I was like, where should I put all this? And then they were like, none of that can go through. And I was like, no, I sorted it. This stuff can't go through, and then all these bags are good, because I had like a whole backpack, and I just took out one big Ziploc bag of my Dexcom and Omnipod supplies, also my extra, my glucometer, my extra glucometer, and my test strips, because those are the things that I just need, and they're all in the same bag, easy to check, and like, I just don't want anything to mess that stuff up, right? Because that's like very important stuff. And I also took my insulin out. But it was just like very organized. It was like a travel pouch and a Ziploc bag, and that's it.
Like, so easy.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, and my little pouch that had all my insulin in it. And so I did that, and they're like, this all doesn't have to go through. And I was like, yes, it does. And they're like, secondary. And they like called another cop over, or I mean another TSA agent over. And this guy comes like huffing and puffing over to me. And I had like stepped to the side. And meanwhile, they're like starting to send my stuff through. Like, I didn't even finish taking all my technology out. Like, they're just like sending my stuff through. And the guy, I'm like over to the side a little bit, and the guy's like, this Dexcom stuff can go through. And I was like, no, it can't. And he was like, yes, it can. I'm a type 1 diabetic as well, and this stuff can go through the scanner. And I was like, no, it can't. I was told by my doctor not to send this through or the Omnipod stuff through. And he's like, ma'am, I wear Dexcom, I wear Omnipod. We'll go back there in a second. I wear Dexcom, I wear Omnipod. This stuff can go through the scanner. And I said, no, it can't. I was told by my doctor that it cannot. I would like it hand checked. And now I'm starting to get worked up. And he's like, ma'am, it needs to go through the scanner. We are not hand checking it. It is way too busy, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
literally not
over and over. Yeah, I was like over and over again. No, it needs to be hand checked. I can't risk it. If I don't have this stuff, I will die. Like, I cannot. I need this stuff, because let's talk about this. I'm on Omnipod 5. When my Dexcom isn't working properly, my pump can't function to its fullest potential, because they work together. And I'm like, I need this stuff. And he's like, ma'am, I'm type 1 diabetic. You don't need to get this hand checked, blah, 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 blah. And at this point, like, everyone's looking at me. I'm like starting to cry because I'm so overwhelmed, and just like, we're also literally missing our flight as we speak.
Yeah.
And like the doors are about to close. Like, I'm like so worked out. I'm sweating from running through the airport.
Oh my god, yes. Shall we mention we both look like not well. Like, we're both profusely sweating. Like, yes. Sweat down my face. I had to put my hair up because my hair was soaked.
Because we literally ran through the airport. Like, it was probably like a legit a mile.
They probably thought we were like trafficking drugs.
I know. And so I'm like profusely sweating. I'm starting to cry. And he's over and over again like, ma'am, I'm not hand checking this. This is going through the scanner, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, an Omnipod needs to go through, Dexcom needs to go through. I'm like, no. I like put my foot down with Omnipod. I'm like, Omnipod? Yes, I'm like, Omnipod cannot go through. I'm not putting my Omnipod through. And he's like, Omnipod can't go through? Fine. Tries to put my Dexcom, my extra Dexcom transmitter through. I'm like, that cannot go through. And finally, he just like insisted that I put all my test strips, my glucometers, and all my Dexcom like applicators, like the sensors, through. And I'm just like, at that point, I had just like given up. I'm like sobbing, like not even, no, I'm not like, I'm like having a panic attack. I'm like I can't breathe. And I'm like sucking in my mask, like literally just embarrassing myself because I'm so overwhelmed and like legit having a panic attack, like not like panic attack, like actually having one. And then they're like, okay,
wait, I want to say it from my point of view of that.
Wait, hold on, we're not there yet. Yeah. So then they're like, okay, stand to the side. So now they have me, I don't have my medication or any of my important stuff in sight anymore. Neither, or not even my bags. Nothing is in sight that I need. None of my technology, none of my bags, none of my medication. I can't see any of it anymore. I have no idea where it is. I have no idea what anyone's doing with it. And I'm standing, they have me like off to the side by where everyone's getting in line to go to the body scanner and the metal detector. They have me standing there. I'm having a panic attack right there. Every single person that's coming through is looking at me all weird. I'm like trying to move my mask so that I can like breathe. I'm legit hyperventilating, like bawling my eyes out. And now Avery had gotten through already, and she sees me from across.
Yeah, so I went to go find her, and she's standing behind all of the security, like behind the scanning machines, literally just sobbing, and I can see her hyperventilating, and I'm like, breathe. And like, it's just ridiculous. ridiculous. She was standing there for probably 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was
getting
like 30
stared
minutes.
at by everybody. Everyone that walked through that security line, it was busy according to them. Every single person saw her, and like that's not okay. And then so this lady walks over with your medical bag, and I'm like, can I take that for her? And she's like, yes. And I'm like, is someone gonna go get her? Like, she's been standing there for such a long time. And she's like, man, we are so busy. Like, no one has time to go and pat her down. Someone will get there when they get there. And I'm like,
but the thing is, it's not like that is discrimination and ableism, because I can't. It's not my fault. I need to get pat down.
That's exactly what I said. I was like, it's not her fault that she has diabetes.
I shouldn't have to miss my flight because you guys don't have enough staff. That's just like, you need to have someone to pat people down. Like, there's pacemakers. There's like other types of
people with
things,
with implants that like they can't, like heart maker. Yes, and like, with implants they can't go through the machine. And I'm like, it's not her fault. She has diabetes. And she's like, I didn't say it was her fault. And I'm like,
well, you're making us miss our flight.
I know. I'm like, our flight is taking off. She's like, that is not my problem. And she's like, I don't know. It was just ridiculous. And
it's not like we could have gotten there early because it was a layover. So
she was so rude, and I was being like really nice and decent. And then
besides my crying, I was being nice. I was just very upset.
And then so again, I was like, can someone go get her? And she's like, everyone here is doing stuff. 4 people walk by. They're like sipping on water.
Yes, I saw some guys standing there drinking coffee. I'm like, word.
And I wanted to be like, what about him? But I knew she wasn't gonna understand, and she was just gonna be like, blah blah blah. So I was like, whatever. I was like, y'all, like one person can't go get her. And she's like, step back. And I took a step back, and I'm like, okay, I just shut up. So I was like, she's not gonna get it. Like, it's not gonna go through her head. And then again, at me after she said step back, she's like, we are so busy. It's not like, no one said it was her fault. And I'm like, okay, calm down. Like,
I know.
Whatever. Conversation's over. Like, I understand. You're not gonna understand. And so then all her medical stuff that they scanned comes through, and I'm like, can I get her stuff for her? And I was like packing stuff away, and I saw they scanned every single one of her Dexcoms. And I was like, hey, did they scan this? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, none of this stuff can go through. And she's like, yes, it can. And I'm like, no, it just can't. Like, it literally can't. And she was like, it can. Like, this guy's a type 1 diabetic. And
here's where the Omnipod comes in, by the way.
And he walks over, and no way. And she's like, oh, like, you're not, no way. She's like, how would you know? Like you're not the patient. I'm like, I've gone to every single one of her doctor's appointments. Like, I know just as much as she does, pretty much, when it comes to that. And she's like, you're not the patient. I don't even know why I'm talking to you. And I'm like, okay. And then the guy comes over with his stuff, and she's like, here, this guy has type 1 diabetes. And he says it's okay. And he's like, yeah. And he pulls out the T-Slim thing.
So he had a T-Slim and a Dexcom. And he told me he had an Omnipod, so he knew it could go through. And then showed her a T-Slim.
And I'm like, huh?
So he lied. He said he knew what he was talking about, lied. And, yeah. Anyways, they finally let me through. They give me a body check. Everything's fine, obviously.
Wait, and then after, I was like, these can go through? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, I don't think they can. Like, everywhere I look on the website that her doctors say they can't go through. And he's like, well, what did they tell you at the doctor's? And the lady goes, she's not even the patient. He goes, you're not the patient? And then walks away. And I'm like,
yeah.
Huh?
So then at this point, it was like 10 minutes after our doors, the gate closed to our flight. But I'm like, Avery, let's just go and check. Like, maybe they were late. So we walk up to the gate, and there's like a pilot standing there, right? And I didn't even realize, but I was like, are they still boarding? And he was like, no. And I was like, ugh. And I started to walk away, and he was like, well, hold on, because one of our crew members is actually missing. they're legit missing. That's not funny, but they're like, they're actually missing, and we can probably get you guys on this flight still, but wait for the like attendant or whatever to come out. And so they let us on, no problem, even though the doors had literally closed 10 minutes ago because somebody was missing. Not funny, but like, we just could not believe, like, literally they were supposed to have already taken off and they just hadn't. We were able to get on our flight. So then everything was fine besides my mental health. I was like having a panic attack still. And then we landed, and my flight didn't get on the flight. So I still don't have my bag. My bag is supposed to be getting delivered to my parents' house like today, but they lost my bag on top of all that. But that was my travel day, and we even looked on the like Dexcom website after the fact, and they absolutely clear as day say don't let it go through the x-ray machines, whatever, all that. So I filed a formal complaint. I'm gonna see what happens, but I'm gonna try to get some sort of something from that, because whether it's like repercussions against those agents or I don't know.
TSA agents suck.
But
if you have a parent that's a TSA agent, make sure they're nice.
Yeah.
Because
like it doesn't matter that man was a type 1 diabetic. He's not a doctor. He can't decide what I can do with my devices.
Not nice.
And if I'm saying like that this stuff cannot go through, that is not your decision to make. Like you have other forms of testing, and I'm sorry, but like I know you have to be careful, but if I have all of this diabetes supplies, I'm legit wearing 2 devices, I have a note from my doctor in my bag, I'm sorry, but I'm not carrying anything suspicious. There's no reason you can't hand check it. And I even said at one point, I was like, I understand you want to go through, you can't just make an exception, you can't just hand scan this for me. And he was like, no. Like, just straight up would not do it because they didn't want to. Not because it can't be hand checked. Because they did not want to.
They were too busy, even though the guy that had diabetes just walked up, was chilling, had nothing to do. He had time to argue with me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't, like, so in a busy airport, right? Like, there are people lined up waiting to get the bags that didn't go through searched. No one was there. Everything was clear.
Yeah.
Like, it was not busy.
No, I've seen airports so much busier.
Several people were walking around. The line to security, we got through in like 3 to 5 minutes, maybe. Like, it just wasn't busy. Like,
yeah.
It really wasn't. There was almost no line. The line was, it really wasn't busy. Like, no one was getting their hands searched. Like,
yeah.
No, like, they had like several lanes. Almost all of the lanes were clear from people hand searching. There were like 5 agents walking, doing nothing, sipping drinks, their coffee, chatting it up. Like, I swear on my life, I was like, how is this real?
Yeah.
Just lazy mother truckers.
So luckily, a lot of you, when I put that on my story, a lot of you said that either that had happened to you or that you just send it through the scanner and it's been fine. So I'm thinking it will be okay, but the bottom line is they actively went against what I medically needed them to do because they were too busy.
For all they know,
and
all those could have broke. You didn't have insurance and you'd have to pay like $1,000 each.
But the thing is, if those did all break, I have to just count on Dexcom sending me replacements, which I'm sure they would. But if they didn't, insurance is not going to cover them yet because I just got that shipment. Like, insurance will not send me more yet. And those are expensive. And
okay, maybe not $1,000, like $300 each. But
no, they're like pretty expensive. I forget how much, but they're pretty expensive. But
like, if you didn't have insurance too, like, they don't know. They know you paid $10,000 for all that stuff.
I know. And just looking back on it, I'm like, I can't believe he lied. Like, he said he had Omnipod and Dexcom and that it can go through. He didn't. He literally doesn't even use Omnipod. So he wouldn't even know that possibly I need my Dexcoms to really work because now they're connected. Like, I understand that he has T-Slim and it like does something similar, but T-Slim isn't Omnipod. Like, I know nothing I don't know what parts of T-Slim can go through. I have no idea.
But apparently he's a doctor that also works as a TSA agent.
Yeah.
Like, I don't believe that, no offense.
So that was my day yesterday. It was embarrassing because I was having a legit panic attack in the airport and everyone's staring at me. It was like traumatizing because like it was so stressful, like trying to like advocate for myself and them just blatantly disregarding it. And then like,
can you imagine her trying to go through security again and be like calm?
I know.
Like, I swear this only happens because people are lazy and don't know and they don't want to admit they don't know. That's exactly why. And it's like embarrassing. Like, your dignity is not as important as someone else's health.
Yeah. And then also it's stressful because if those don't, like, I brought 4 with me. I have 2 more at home, but I have to change my Dexcom while I'm here. And like, if it doesn't work, it's just like, it just adds stress to me. Like, is Dexcom medically necessary, like, for me to survive? No, but it absolutely improves my quality of life and improves my ability to manage my diabetes. And like, if it doesn't work, it's just gonna suck for me, and I'm not gonna be able to fully like.
But it's also like a safety thing. Also, like, you can survive, but who's to say your numbers aren't gonna be insane? Like, you don't want that. That does affect your health.
Yeah. So
it for sure does.
That happened. It did indeed happen, but
it literally makes me so angry.
We're here, but as you can tell, I definitely would not have anything in me, especially when they lost my bag too. I'm just like, I can't. I'm done. I'm not vlogging today. I'm not editing today.
Yesterday was practically an entire meltdown the entire day. So
yeah. So that was that. But now we are in New Hampshire. We started our morning. Well, actually, I started my morning taking my dog for a walk with my mom, which was really nice. And we stopped at Bonhoeffer's, which, if you guys don't know, Bonhoeffer's is like my favorite coffee shop ever, known to man. So yeah. And I'm on my way to the dentist because I have an appointment to get a cleaning, and I might have a cavity, so maybe get that fixed up if I do have one. But just going in for a cleaning, and that's where we're at right now. I'm literally wearing my smelly, still half damp sports bra that I was wearing at the airport yesterday. The same disgusting, sweaty jacket I was wearing, and then I'm wearing some of Avery's shorts with no underwear. And I don't have my skincare, I don't have anything really, so that's awesome. But I'm glad it happened like when I was coming to my parents' house, because at least like they have a lot of things that I will need, and then also like I'm in my hometown where like I know where I can get a lot of what I would need in the meantime, you know. But so stressful for no reason, completely took the life out of me, and was exactly what I was afraid of happening. But at least I had probably like everything that probably could go wrong went wrong, besides like missing a flight. So maybe I was just dealt that, so that I know that I've been through the worst, so that I'll be able to handle whatever comes in the future.
I also feel really bad because it's partly my fault, because we were supposed to go to Texas first, but we had to move the Texas flight to after because my parents weren't going to be there and I didn't ask beforehand. So I had to change the flight, and the flight that was connecting was like $100 more, or like maybe $200. Actually, it was like $300 more, and I was like, I just can't do that. Like, it was just like too much money. And so I was like, is there any way we could go on a connecting flight? She was like, I don't think so. And I was like, please, anyways. And so she didn't even really want to do the connecting flight, and I just did it because it was cheaper, and that caused all this. So I just feel really bad.
I mean, that wasn't even the reason I didn't want to lay over. The reason I didn't want to lay over was because at the time my lung acting was way too high for me, and I was like always going low, and I was afraid that we were going to land and my blood sugar was going to be low where I couldn't like go quickly to another gate and we were going to miss a flight. Like, that's what I was afraid of happening, which didn't even happen. Something else happened. But I mean, and then we find out through that same pilot that was really nice at the gate that apparently there's a bus that you can take that you don't have to leave security and go back in, but we just didn't know. So that was that. That was that. So that's my story time. That's the update for now. This is Vlogmas Day 7, I think, right? Yeah, Vlogmas Day 7. That's all. We're gonna go get my teeth cleaned now.
Where are we at?
Sweet cream, stop on there.
Don't you like that? I'ma love you endlessly. The queen is allowing me to vlog her.
Hopefully the music doesn't get copy or anything.
Nah. What did you get? We just have to talk over it.
Kale Caesar.
Yum. How many carbs?
14, but I got medium dressing, so I did 15.
Wow, that's actually
We're
really
also gonna be
great.
walking around, so.
That is like really good for that entire salad. Dang. No, there's one right near our house. I bet there's so much stuff you could get.
Oh, I know.
How is it?
Really good.
Hello. Hi, whoa, whoa. Are you so happy that we're home? Are you so happy that we're home?
I'm saying, yep, I like the one that smells like coffee and then the one that smells like carpet.
I like the one that always smells like coffee, and I like the one that always smells like beef.
That smells like beef. You think I like her more, but I just like that she smells
That's
like
why, because you just had all that beef. He's
Yeah.
like smelling you. Oh, the big yawn. Look over here. Show everyone your big long nose. Oh. You're so... Oh. You got it all. Oh, what? You want me to pet you? Watch. He's going to hit my hand. Oh. Oh, you want me to pet you? Oh, I sorry, just punched you. You want me to pet you? Oh, hello. Who's a good boy? You're so cute. Look at him's gray ears. You're literally 4. Why are you so gray? Oh. Oh.
Guys, whenever I come home, like, it has to be like when I'm, well, he does it a lot, but when I, specifically like when I come home from Florida, he does this like crying thing. He's done it since he was a baby. And he goes like, and me and him do it back and forth.
Oh yeah.
I'm smiling.
I'm so happy.
Him looks like a shark. And a bicycle seat. You should see the angle of him. Wait, I'll turn it. Oh, never mind. Oh, what the?
What?
Why are you frantic? Why are you frantic, long boy? For those of you that don't know, this is my family's dog. Oh. Arlo, the Italian Greyhound. Let's see your teeth. Let me see your teeth. Oh, ew, Arlo, you gotta brush those.
You don't brush teeth?
Arlo, that was embarrassing for you.
Let me see them. What color are they? Yellow?
Yeah, no wonder your breath
Yellow.
stinks so bad. You should see this angle. Do you like the camera?
What is that? What is that?
Arlo, please tell me, how does it feel to be a bicycle seat? Oh.
That was embarrassing.
Okay, Arlo, how does it feel to be a shark? Oh,
Apparently very sexual.
that's sus. Arlo, you're sus.
I'm embarrassed. I know. I know.
Him's nose is so small. Why does he let me do that? He's like, please. Oh.
You do have stinky breaths.
Don't
like
bite
broccoli.
her nose. He's like, guys, please.
Please.
No more camera.
Embarrassed. I'm camera shy. What are you doing?
He likes to sniff ears. What do you want, sir? Oh, you're so cute. Here, you want to be covered with the blanket?
He's one of those weird exceptions of dog that actually really love being like covered in blankets. Like overnight he sleeps like under the covers with my mom, like at the end of the bed. Actually, I don't know because it's hot out, but when it's cold.
Arlo, I have to break something to you. We look alike. And I don't know what to do about it.
He's mad. He's like, frankly, I am way handsomer than you.
You're You're smiling. You're smiling. He's like, oh, Gus.
This feels
Guys, that's my
good.
favorite sport. I can't even keep my head straight. You should see his face. Oh, him smiling so big. Look at him, look at him. He can't take it.
Oh my god.
You're smiling so big. Now I have your dander all over my hands. Nasty, 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 nasty. Guys, fun fact about Arlo, his belly gets sunburned. Okay, bye.
Also, more good news. I can continue my streak of never having a cavity on an adult tooth. I think I had one cavity in my life and it was on a baby tooth. But I know I've never had to get like a filling or anything,
I
so.
have like 49 pounds.
Yeah, Avery's prone to cavities. You're also more like of a sweets person. Like if I do something sweet, it's like a pastry, where you're more like a candy or like,
Yeah.
and I feel like that makes a difference.
I really wish I could see.
I'm like a pastry gal. But I'm gonna go do school outside because I definitely need to do school, but I just don't want to sit inside. It's so nice out. So yeah, let's go. Okay guys, I decided it's time for some trampoline time. The pool float's on here because it was blowing away. Hold on. I need to, oh bunny! Okay, we're on the trampoline. Maybe I can lay on the float on the trampoline. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Hey girl. This is the behind the scenes of Avery sneezing. Of Avery doing brand deals. I want to swim. Oh, also guys, my bag got delivered. Oh, it's pretty cold.
I'm doing work. Let's boil a pot of water and pour it in.
No.
You're undoing typing every time you jump.
Sorry, I'm bored.
Hold on.
Basically, as I was saying before my camera died, I'm out on the trampoline. Ow, also Arlo's barking, so very sorry about that. But my bag finally got delivered, so that's good. And my Dyson Airwrap is still in there, which I was worried about, so that's good. And we just had a snack. I had a plum and some nuts. Oh my god, Arlo's always barking. And Avery had some chips and salsa. And now we're just kind of chilling. I don't know what else to do. Oh my gosh. Also guys, last night, wait, this lighting is scary. Last night, after a thorough cry sesh and literally staring at it for probably 45 minutes, I had a piece of cake.
Oh yeah.
Literally stared at it forever, crying, trying to decide if I want to eat it. Well, I wanted to eat it, but if I want to like stress about how to eat it or not. And I ended up just saying F it, and I dosed for it. And I so basically I dosed, and then I had, because I was also kind of hungry, so I had like a piece of chicken as I kind of like waited for the insulin to kick in. And then after I finished the chicken, I had a piece of cake, and it was like a decent size, and my blood sugar was fine. It literally only went up to like 150. And I didn't do an extended bolus or anything because it's the pistachio cake that my mom makes me for my birthday, and she makes it with sugar-free pudding and sugar-free Cool Whip and hi, I can't see. Yeah, so because of that, like that's how she always makes it, and because of that, it's like already a little bit lower carb and lower fat. I don't know, it's just not a very high fat cake for some reason. And so I didn't extend bolus or anything like that. I just bolused for it and hoped for the best, and it turned out really good. So that was awesome. And I might have some later tonight again, possibly. Also, this right here on my face, so that was a pimple, right? And then the pimple went away, but it was just like a blackhead. So then I tried to pop it one day and it just became like an irritated blackhead. Like it was just like a blackhead that had like, it was just like a raised blackhead. And so recently I finally was able to get like the blackhead out, but now it's like a pimple again. Well, actually it's not like actively a pimple, it's just like, ew, why is that fingernail dirty? It's just like cut right now. Cute. I love doing this and just looking under the trampoline.
I would love to mow this grass.
Mm-hmm.
I bet there's so many snakes in here.
There's no snakes.
Just kidding. I bet there's so many ticks in there.
Yeah. There's definitely ticks. How'd that work out for you?
Good.
I knew it'd be all over. My omnipod is sore.
A good thing it's time to change it.
Yeah.
Oh,
What?
I feel like I haven't touched you in forever. Run!